Welcome in Sunflower Fantasy Football Podcast surprise episode.
What's up, fam?
Here with Triston. I am Eli, and we're going to be talking some trades today and see what else we can come up with. How's it going, man?
Oh, not too bad, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Glad to get you on here.
Yeah, man. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're off to a good start.
Yeah. Got the debut for me. Hopefully many more.
Triston debut, for sure.
Yeah. So let's talk some trades. First one we're looking at here is DJ Moore and Melvin Gordon, Ryan and Alex.
Yeah, Alex traded Melvin Gordon, who was a pretty early pick, to Ryan, who picked up DJ Moore, I think, in the third round.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what do you think, man?
Of all the trades Alex has made recently, I think this is the one where he kind of lost a little bit. I mean, DJ Moore has potential to be a good player, but he just hasn't shown out this year. And Melvin Gordon's kind of a mid-tier running back, but he's been seeing a lot of opportunity, especially with Philip Lindsay out right now. We'll see how that changes when he gets back.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's hard to find running backs around the league that are still available that have that role, and Melvin Gordon's still talented. So DJ Moore is definitely a talented wide receiver, but Robbie Anderson's been getting most of the targets, and they just haven't been – DJ Moore hasn't really been producing yet. So, I mean, I guess we'll see how that plays out. But personally, I think I'd rather have Melvin Gordon than DJ Moore at this point. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and just like the fact that running backs are just more valuable.
Yeah.
And that the way that DJ Moore is producing, like there are guys on the waiver wire that have the same numbers as him.
Right.
It's obviously like more valuable than a lot of receivers, and he's like struggling.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't really get the trade as far as like trading away a running back. Definitely a top 20 running back.
Right.
Where he fits in, like who really knows? But
well, we know that Alex gets bored, so he just likes to do these to do them. So
yeah, it definitely was. It kind of just like lubed up the trade market.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Well, it was the second trade after the Christian McCaffrey deal.
Oh, this is after the Christian McCaffrey?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But just even though you have Christian McCaffrey, like it's still like important to hang on to those running backs, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Well, because we don't know what's going to happen with McCaffrey. I mean, we know he's talented, but I mean, he's projected to come back next week, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, who knows? They might want to hold, keep him healthy. They put a lot of money into him, and Mike Davis is playing well right now. I mean, I think the Panthers are outperforming what a lot of people thought they were going to do. So, I mean, we're just going to have to see how that goes. But I still think Greg really fucked up on that.
Yeah. And just like maybe Philip Lindsay coming back is like might damage Melvin Gordon like a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, DJ Moore was a great like breakout player last season.
Right.
Pretty high pick.
Yeah.
I think it was good for Ryan though because Ryan added that running back depth.
Yeah.
He lost Austin Eckler.
True.
DJ Moore hasn't been producing much, so that's a win.
Yeah.
Anytime you can trade an underperforming receiver for a top 20 running back,
yeah,
I think that's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
We can go on to the other trade.
Yeah.
Bigger trade up here at the top.
Yeah, so I actually like this trade a lot. We haven't seen much Kenny Golladay because he's been injured recently, and Evan Ingram hasn't really produced much because he plays for the Giants. But Deshaun Watson's been a little bit disappointing so far, but I think that has more to do with the schedule than it does with Deshaun Watson's talent.
Yeah.
I do like Teddy Bridgewater this week, but it looks like Alex isn't going to end up starting him, so it doesn't really matter.
I guess you should show that too.
Yeah. So he's going with Danny Dimes.
Danny Dimes with the whole 2 touchdown passes on the season.
Yeah.
Not good. He's the 31st quarterback in fantasy so far. I mean, we knew that was going to happen with the rough schedule, but I guess he hasn't played this year.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Was it 7 turnovers to 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, 7 turnovers, 2 touchdowns, and those 2 touchdowns came in week 1.
Yeah.
So he's been struggling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, against Dallas, though, that's a strong play, but
yeah,
Bridgewater against Atlanta, I mean, that's like a wash.
Yeah, agreed. Personally, I like Bridgewater better, but, I mean, to each their own.
Alex has a little bit of Giants fandom in him, so
Sure.
it makes sense.
Sure.
But anyway, back to the trade.
Yeah.
I think it's a win for Evan because he pretty much traded one player for Deshaun Watson and DJ Moore. Like, Evan Ingram doesn't have a lot of value, and Teddy Bridgewater obviously got dropped. So
Yeah.
So I think Kenny Galladay and DJ Moore are like kind of similar. Kenny Galladay obviously like playing a little bit better than DJ Moore, but Evan said it himself. He's not sold on Matt Ryan, and maybe we shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's an upgrade at quarterback for him.
Yeah, you get a season-long quarterback.
Yeah. And Evan Ingram, I know he's been disappointed this year, but I mean, just look at the tight end pool. It's not great. And the thing is, Evan Ingram's still getting a lot of targets, and we'll just have to see how that plays out. I do think he could turn around. He could have a few good weeks, but I mean, yeah, he's not the sexiest name at tight end, but I mean, you can't really ask for a whole lot when you get deep in that tight end pool. Yeah,
it's like a buy low kind of for both sides. Buy low for Deshaun Watson, of course. Buy low for DJ Moore. And Kenny Galladay hasn't really like blown up into like that top 10, top 5 receiver that he has potential for.
Sure.
So it could be like a huge. Either side or the other might blow up, and the other side might tank. In this trade.
Right.
And I guess if I am taking this deal, I would prefer the Watson and DJ Moore side, but Kenny Galladay's good too.
Yeah. See, I think that the thing with Deshaun Watson is like, yes, he's an upgrade for Matt Ryan, but I'd almost rather just stream quarterbacks until I find one than give up Galladay. You know what I mean? Like, and as I was saying earlier, who knows what DJ Moore could be the rest of the season? He's definitely more talented than he's producing right now, but can't judge a trade too early. You never know how it's going to pan out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we judged the McCaffrey trade early for sure. So
yeah, it's a very polarizing trade, Greg. But we'll see what happens. So
let's look at how this fits into Alex's roster, because he's the one that's been making the moves.
Yeah.
So Alex at 1-3, facing a tough climb against Ryan after a decent Thursday game.
Yeah.
So this week's roster is definitely the pass job, but you've got Godwin on the bench, McCaffrey on the bench, Tanyan, potentially a breakout tight end. Who knows? And then Galladay on the bench.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Tanyan yet. He had a big breakout game when they were missing 2 of the top receivers, and and they were playing Atlanta. And I mean, he could be solid, but I almost think I'd have to see more before I believe it. It could just be a flash in the pan.
Yeah, definitely a good spot start for Alex. Got him a win.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Especially with the leaky defense and the injuries to the receivers.
Wow, he's rostering 2 tight ends right now. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, starting lineup has Evan Ingram and Dalton Schultz.
I really like Dalton Schultz this year. He's, taking over that Blake Jarwin role / Jason Witten. I guess Blake Jarwin didn't really have a good chance, but it's a high-powered offense, and he seems to be catching a lot of balls. So I don't know how I feel about Evan Ingram in the flex, but to each their own. But
yeah, Michael Gallup might get going somewhere like sometime in the near future, which could like reduce the Dalton Schultz role.
See, I think Dalton Schultz's role is pretty safe. I think that once defenses start keying in a little bit more on CeeDee Lamb, that's when Michael Gallup could get a little bit more production.
Yeah.
The problem with Michael Gallup right now is he's seeing all the deep routes, so that he's just not getting any of those short catches. He's not getting the volume. He's getting all the
kind of boom bust.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's probably drawing a lot of pass interference calls, which you don't get fantasy points for. But,
yeah. Or Michael Gallup's, getting a flag anytime Michael Gallup gets a good catch. But
yeah, but oh well. Evan Ingram with the start against Dallas. Now's the time. He probably doesn't have.
If you're gonna start Evan Ingram any week, this is the week to do it against the Cowboys.
Could be a breakout week.
Yeah,
but pretty easy schedule coming up.
Yeah,
but you got 3 tight ends on the roster.
Yeah,
probably can't afford to keep all of them.
Yeah. Alex's team will look good once it's back and healthy and off buys and everything, but he's got to win some games between that, and it's going to be tough.
Yeah, he could lose. He's on track to lose this week. down 37-0 after Thursday night. 19 points from Robinson, 18 points from Montgomery.
Yeah, that's
with some beasts still to come.
Yeah, that's because those are probably two of his weakest players in his starting lineup, and they both showed out. So I mean,
you got Metcalf, Kittle, Zeke, Kyler,
yeah,
Melvin Gordon, even Harrison Butker is like dangerous.
Yeah.
So probably my guess would be a 1-4, but anything can happen.
Yeah.
And then might be able to, let's take a quick look ahead at his week 6. Week 6, he has Michael Thomas on bye.
Yeah.
Which is not good for the outlook.
No.
Oops, can't do it there. So 1-5.
So he plays Evan next week.
1-5, and that's fun.
ESPN's broken.
Okay, that was fun. Yeah, 1-5, and then he's got to face Sean, who we just traded, DJ Moore, who we just traded, Dalvin Cook, Tyler Lockett. It could be rough.
Yeah, it's. I mean, any given Sunday.
Evan won 140 to 101 in week 1.
Yeah.
I forgot they already played.
That was also the lowest score, I think, probably all fantasy season for anybody.
Oh, he's got Tyler Lockett on bye, as well as Michael Thomas. So that's like kind of a wash, just the way that Tyler Lockett has been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I mean, anything could happen, but it's not looking good for Alex. I mean, the thing is, like, he's probably going to do more damage to the teams later in the season that have playoff hopes, and he's really going to help himself. You know what I mean?
Spoiler.
Yeah.
And then he's set up well for next season.
No, for sure.
Right now with McCaffrey and Thomas.
Number 1 and 2 pick going in for keepers.
And definitely could acquire more keeper spots to get Godwin. Keep Godwin as well.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? It's also Alex. We could probably trade his entire roster except for Michael Thomas. And
yeah, I feel like McCaffrey is kind of like an ultimate goal player. So I kind of don't want to trade him now. Yeah. But he's, like you said earlier, he gets bored, so he might just give him up.
Well, I mean, we'll see how McCaffrey plays for the rest of the season. I mean, guys aren't always the same when they come back from injury,
especially with the high ankle sprain.
Yeah. And Mike Davis, man, he's looking pretty good.
Mike Davis is playing well.
Could be stealing the job.
And they actually have receivers they have weapons at wide receivers.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could grow the passing game more and more, but McCaffrey's obviously a big part of the passing game too.
Yeah. Well, and Bridgewater's big on dump offs, the running back, so I think you could plug pretty much anybody in there and be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah. But they might who knows, maybe they'll give Mike Davis more of a share than they originally planned.
That would be tight.
That would be okay. You can save your ass with the Nick Chubb situation.
Yeah. It's Chubbernauts are not looking good.
Why don't we look at Evan? He's actually 2-2.
Yeah.
Just made a trade. He could actually make waves this season.
Yep. He's got a solid team. I mean, I'm not sold on some of his players. Like I was saying earlier, DJ Moore, Jerick McKinnon. We'll see what happens when that, committee gets healthy again. But
if Deshaun Watson and DJ Moore can actually live up to their preseason hype, then I think this is a good team.
Yeah.
Because Tyler Lockett is balling out. So is Dalvin Cook. People aren't really talking about him much, but he's third.
Yeah.
Right there, and third at running back, 91 points. Yeah, pretty. That's pretty stout. Even Singletary has been holding his own. Yeah. I was definitely not sold on Singletary in the preseason.
I was not either.
I thought Zach Moss would come in.
Yeah, Zach Moss has been disappointing so far.
But is he even on your team anymore?
Yeah, he is. I'm holding out hope. He's been hurt for a little bit, and maybe just needs some time to develop. I don't know. I'm desperate at running back right now, so it's.
So I think right matchups, Evan is definitely a threat to keep winning games.
Yeah.
He should hang in the wild card standings for a while, least, if not the top of the division.
Yeah, I mean, when you have teams like Greg and Ryan, I mean, he's definitely not the strongest team, but he's got a solid team to where he could stay competitive. He can
win games. It's a competitive team. Yeah, he's down 29-0. Yeah, this again.
I mean, really, the thing is, throughout the league, everybody's got a fairly solid team. Kyle and Alex just had really bad injuries. I know I'm at 1-3 right now. My team's not bad considering
Definitely
that I
not.
didn't have a third or a fourth, and just got dicked on by Greg and then lost to you by 1 point. So
Yeah.
it could be a very different story, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, down 29-0. This is a projected tie
Really?
right now.
Hmm.
I don't know if that changed after the actual games
Yeah.
or if that is still from before, but
Yeah. Jimmy Graham showed out. Tom Brady looking like Tom Brady.
Jimmy Graham made a sick catch.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like the old Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. I mean, you got Dalvin Cook going up against Alvin Kamara. Kareem Hunt should look good this week, but Cleveland's going up against Indy, so it could get ugly for them. We'll see.
He has a good defense.
Yeah. Thielen should have a good game against Seattle.
Definitely. Tyreek should have a big game against the Raiders.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Chiefs always just dominate the Raiders.
Yeah.
But knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're Chiefs fans first.
Right. Except for when Patrick Mahomes fucking dicked on me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that probably wasn't fun.
Yeah, that hurt. But
so this is a big game. They're both 2-2. They're both definitely deserving.
Yeah.
Of a 3-win record.
Yeah.
So somebody's gonna be getting the short end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can go either way. I think I favor Quinn in this matchup just based off players and matchup.
I do too. Even though he didn't get a lot out of Brady, he got enough out of Jimmy Graham.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Tom Brady's basically as good as fucking Will Lutz on his lineup comparatively. So, I mean, the rest of his team's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, Alvin Kamara and Kareem Hunt are probably both top 5 running backs for the next at least month.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill is obviously an elite receiver.
Yeah.
And Adam Thielen, whatever you want to say about Adam Thielen, he's got a great matchup.
Yeah.
So he's projected 3 more points than Tyreek Hill, which is a little weird.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill is interesting this year because he's typically known as a boom or bust player, but his floor has been pretty solid.
Yeah, he's got a great floor so far.
What's his lowest scoring game? 15?
He's got a touchdown every game, which is
that's
beautiful to see. And
that
15,
probably
20,
won't happen
20,
going
16.
forward, but
if he puts up even 15 points a game throughout the entire season, that's probably enough
that's
for
incredible.
a top 3 finish. Yeah. And then if he just has those 30, 40-point games, if he has 3 of them throughout the year, then that'll probably be enough to at least make him the number 2. He should be contending for number 1.
No, he's been consistent, which is good for him.
There doesn't seem to be a clear number 1 receiver yet in the fantasy land. So as far as the end of season,
right? Well, yeah, because I think it's Amari Cooper right now, which is surprising. I mean, I know that the Cowboys have been throwing a lot, but
yeah,
I mean,
but it's there's a lot of weapons on that offense. So
yeah,
it could be someone else next week.
Right.
Why don't we look at the other game that had multiple players? Kyle clinging on for dear life at 0-4, going up against Pat, a rivalry game.
Yeah.
And Ronald Jones got so screwed by they called it incompletion, and then he rolled into the end zone untouched. And so when they reviewed it, they said it was a catch, that because the play was blown dead, that he was down to 1, even though he rolled in. And then they gave him Mike Evans' touchdown, which sucked. Yeah. But Ronald Jones, Kyle, definitely dodged a bullet with that.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually, got a decent game out of Gronk. I know 8 points doesn't look that good, but
I mean, for Gronk, that's pretty solid.
For Gronk, and when you're desperate at tight end, that's all you can really ask for.
Right. Yeah, and then, I mean, Bears defense, not terrible.
No. Yeah, they're pretty good. It's fine.
So,
Pat is streaming Ben Roethlisberger instead of Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I think the big question mark in this game is Derrick Henry, if he's going to play, if the Titans are going to play.
I guess it looks good right now.
Yeah. But we've been bamboozled before with the Titans, so
yeah,
Tennessee needs to get its shit together.
Yeah, they do. Definitely. But having Derrick Henry and James Conner both coming off that bye week, unexpected bye week. I got a win without them last week, which was pretty props to him for that. Yeah. Stephon Diggs has still been still a really good option.
Yeah.
He's in the Tuesday night COVID game.
Yeah, I think that this comes down to, I mean, if Chase Edmonds gets a decent amount of work, that's going to be good. I feel like Josh Jacobs will be good against KC. Odell, we'll see. He's one of those players that's week to week. And then Darius Slayton against Cowboys, if he can get in the end zone, I think that he'll be solid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really just kind of think it depends on how Kyle's question mark players play, but
he's hurting without Julio.
Yeah.
A little. I mean, Darius Slayton could have a blow-up game. But Julio at his peak, you're not benching him for pretty much anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely give the edge to Pat. I mean, he's got fucking Colts defense, and especially if Derrick Henry plays, and he's got – isn't Stephon – so Amari Cooper's number one. Isn't Stephon Diggs too?
He's like 5'7".
7? Okay.
A little lower.
Still, I mean, 2 top 10 receivers. That's
crazy good, too.
Yeah.
Crazy good numbers.
Mm-hmm. So,
200-yard games.
Yeah. I mean, I give the edge to Pat. I'm rooting for college because I'd hate to see him go 0-5, but it could happen.
Yeah, I would kind of want him to get the win too because I don't want him to be winless going into the Silver's Cup. I just feel like that's like bad juju.
Yeah.
I feel like he's got to get at least one win so I can.
Yeah, statistically speaking, that wouldn't be good in your favor.
It's like the regression would be real. Like,
yeah.
Maybe we bound to get a win after 5 games, but yeah, that would suck. But so hopefully I can avoid that 0-5.
Yeah.
I have Mike Evans score 15 on that nonsense referee touchdown.
Yeah.
But he's really good at that goal line,
mm-hmm.
That goal line scoring work. So
I guess we'll see how Greg's new team works out for him.
Yeah, with Joe Mixon in the lineup, he had pretty much no other option with Aaron Jones on bye.
Yeah.
Antonio Gibson was a part of that trade too. So
yeah,
he had no other running back on the roster. He would have been playing somebody off the waivers.
Yeah.
So Joe Mixon is definitely like a good option.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like your team better this week. I know Jamison Crowder's been playing decent, but
yeah.
I've never been a big believer.
Will Fuller's inconsistent.
Yeah, Will Fuller, he could go big or he could go home. That Mike Evans touchdown definitely helped him out. Todd Gurley has not looked like Todd Gurley this year, and Joe Mixon against Baltimore is sketch.
Yeah, he's got Joe Mixon's Baltimore, but he has Todd Gurley against Carolina, who's like one of the worst run defenses in the league.
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
but yeah,
I could see that.
Offense.
I could also see that being a Brian Hill game.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Brian Hill, let's go. That's a Brian Hill for sure.
Yeah, I mean, as long as Calvin Ridley doesn't put up a fat 0 again, you should be in good shape.
Hopefully, Calvin Ridley eats and like relegates Todd Gurley to nothing.
We'll see how McLaurin looks with what's his name?
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen, yeah.
Yeah, I'm nervous, and I have like options at receiver, so like
I mean, it's Terry McLaurin, man.
He's been such
he
a
makes
beast.
it happen with anybody, I feel. But
yeah,
if I was Greg, I'd almost put in. Oh God, what's the running back for? Antonio Gibson. I'd rather put in Antonio Gibson over Todd Gurley, or maybe even Joe Mixon this week. I know he's a shorter name, but I mean, Antonio Gibson's talented, and the quarterback likes to throw the running back. We saw that a lot with McCaffrey last year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my biggest question mark is Mike Gesicki. I just don't know what to do with him.
Yeah,
he's been bad. He had one good game, and he wasn't even on my team that week.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped him and picked him back up.
Yeah.
So he's been bad every time he's been on my team, and he's playing the San Francisco 49ers this week. So
yeah,
that could be bad. That could be bad. But I love me some Justin Jefferson against Seattle.
Yeah.
I had CD in at the beginning of the week because there's been inconsistency there. But Justin Jefferson, I just love it. I don't know. It's fun.
The thing about the Cowboys and the Giants matchup this week, I feel like that could be a trap game. I know that the Cowboys have been throwing a lot and they've been shootouts every week, but I just don't trust Daniel Jones and the Giants to get that offense going.
It could turn into like a Zeke show.
It really could.
And then CD could end up with like his lowest score of the season.
Yeah.
Whereas Jefferson, even if he doesn't get a lot of catches and maybe even touchdowns, they're giving up so much yardage to receivers.
Yeah.
That it's like a high floor, high ceiling game for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, for sure.
There could be a low floor with CeeDee Lamb with potentially turning into a running Zeke a lot.
Sure. So
I desperately want this 4-1 start, stay at the top of the division, then take a nice record into the Silvers Cup.
Yeah.
That's what I want for sure.
Yeah. So let's see. Who have we looked at? I think
yours.
it's just my game and Mark. So yeah, this is a pretty close one projection-wise. I'm projected to lose by 2. Dax only projected 24, which I know he's been outperforming his projections a lot. But like I said a second ago, I'm worried about this game being a trap game.
It could be, but it's also not a good defense, so we could just unload on them.
That's
also.
true. That's true. And the Cowboys have been, I mean, they should be 0-4 right now. And
yeah,
like, so they could be using this to prove a point and just knock the Giants' dick in the dirt.
It's insane that they're 1-3. Yeah. They look like such a good team, but the defense just is like one of the worst in the league.
Yeah. And then Lamar against Cincinnati, that's not a matchup that scares you. You know, he could easily pop off. And I mean, you know, his big highlight was against Cincinnati last year with that spin move.
Yeah.
And, so it could get ugly for the quarterbacks real quick as far as just like shootout between them. Clyde, I feel like this could be his week that he gets in the end zone.
He could blow up this week, I think, for sure. Divisional game at home.
Yeah.
And just the way that the Chiefs have been sort of like, they've just been like taking what's been given to them.
Yeah.
And they're not like Andy Reid does not care about your fantasy team.
No.
Like he is gonna call the play that
is
like the safest that will score them points like on average kind of.
Nobody started Eric Fisher or Anthony Sherman the other week, so he really does not care.
He doesn't care. Except I do love Andy Reid for manufacturing so many Patrick Mahomes passing touchdowns because he's been really keeping him afloat so far.
Yeah.
He's really only had one game where he like really showcased his talents. So maybe they'll manufacture some Clyde touchdowns this week.
Yeah. I mean, you saw that a lot in week 1 in his debut. I mean, they were trying to get him in the end zone.
Like 4 or 5.
And the only one the touchdown he got was like on a 30-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I think just rookies in general, I've seen this with pretty much every rookie in the league, is that I think they struggle with like vision and like finding the right holes early in their careers.
Yeah.
And the lack of preseason, I think, is hurting that as well.
Yeah.
Just like adjusting to the game speed and like their new offenses and stuff. So I think you see that improve for all rookies moving forward.
Yeah, I do. And I still think he has been disappointing. I mean, you know, obviously there's a little bit of buyer's remorse when Kamara was still on the board and Dalvin Cook was still on the board, but I still like Clyde, especially in a keeper year. I think he's gonna really improve.
Yeah, week to week, I mean, he's got as good a chance to blow up as those other guys. But the only problem is that there are like so many options in the Chiefs offense, and it's a passing offense. So you know, Kelsey gets his, Tyreek gets his.
Yeah.
But once he combines the receiving work with touchdowns, which is totally like reasonable to like assume, he's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
And he kind of already is.
Right.
Like, let's just look. Like, maybe you were 5th pick, I think. Like, 5th overall, like, you were maybe looking for a higher ceiling, but that's just like a floor almost.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been a bust. So you know, I mean.
He hasn't won you any weeks yet, really.
No.
So.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the rest of my team hasn't won me many weeks, so. But no, I mean, this is a solid matchup. He's got Chris Carson, James Robinson, both solid. Juju and Devontae, he could go either way. But, I mean, Cooper Kupp and Robbie Anderson have been solid this year. The tight end battle between Zach Ertz and Hunter Henry, it's pretty much a wash, I feel. Hunter Henry's been solid enough. Zach Ertz has just been – I mean, there's no offense there, so the defense is just targeting the shit out of him. DJ Chark, DeAndre Hopkins, hopefully they can both redo last week where D-Hop didn't have a great week and Chark went off. But, I mean, I think top to bottom, this is a very, very evenly matched matchup.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Mark is the one person I've tied, and it can happen again.
Yeah, so, let's get a tie here.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for another tie. Le'Veon Bell should be coming back. It's just like something to watch on Mark's bench.
Yeah.
But I don't see how you can start over James Robinson.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
Maybe if he comes back and he's like he's the only real, legitimate option in that offense outside of Crowder, who I've never really been a big fan of.
All right.
Maybe Le'Veon Bell gets a bunch of work, but they have like 5 new offensive line starters or something crazy like that.
Mhm.
And I think their first round pick, Becton, was hurt last game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be a struggle.
You're right. Well,
anything else?
I don't know. We covered trades and we kind of went over matchups again. So,
all right.
Well,
might wrap it up.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome anytime. Good luck on Sunday, everyone. Hope we have some excitement. Let's get some activity in the chat.
Yep. Sorry, Mark Jackson.
Sorry, Mark Jackson. All right. Peace out, everybody.
Later, guys.